it's just a lot of manual work that I didn't have to do before. Like with Streamlabs, it was just click a button, you're live, and every single platform went live. Facebook still doesn't work, so if I click go live on Facebook, I just get this error. Couldn't access specified stream key, and yet if I go to, I'll probably get it up and running, to be honest, if I spend 2 seconds on it. I just didn't want to spend more time on it when we started the stream because I'd already been messing around. But let me just go to Facebook again. And then I can't even remember where you go to stream on Facebook. How did it? I think I always just type Facebook go live or something. I don't even do it like save a link or anything. Oh, actually no, where it was is we go to settings on the streaming app and then go to Facebook and click output. It gives you a link to the producer page. That was it. Right, so we can go to set up a live video. And then it's going to try and use my webcam. Streaming software. So now if I go to settings here, key DB. Yeah, so the key is still right, as it just lost the live API. No, see, everything's set up completely fine. Do I have to just be sitting in the Facebook thing? Is that the thing? Let me just click OK to that. Click Facebook again. Yeah, no way. So the only thing I have to do to go live on Facebook as well is have the Facebook page open. Like I have to actually go to the Facebook producer page and have it open before I click go. That's just ridiculous. Now whether that will work still, I don't know. But nothing's changed in settings. I've just clicked there. And yeah, it's just sitting waiting. So it still hasn't quite worked. But Facebook, I think I changed back to vertical encoder. Okay. See, this is one benefit of OBS is you can like end and start random streams while you're midstream, and it seems to be quite happy doing that. What GPU have I got? This is now a Mac M3 Ultra. Yeah, there we go. We should be live on Facebook now as well. But yeah, that's how much messing is that. I've got to open up YouTube, go to a vertical, schedule a stream, go live, click go live, open up Facebook, go to producer. It's like so much work, whereas Streamlabs was just one click and done. So yeah, well, we are, the stream's there on Facebook, and I still think there's meant to be another button somewhere, isn't there, where you click to go live, which I can't see again. Create a post, add audience settings. You have no events. Share to story. Right, so I'm definitely on there, but again, how do I? There, complete post story. Oh yeah, what's this video about? This is it. Well, it will be about the Sega SC-3000 retro computer. The description's the same. Save, and then we should be live on there as well. No, I've messed, like, I haven't changed any encoding, and I can just literally open up the Facebook and click stream, and it appears. And then, where's my go live button? Oh, this is so not, just isn't at all obvious. It's telling me to go live, but then where's my button to go live? Done. Save. I can't see a go live button. This is so annoying. Going live now, yes, post on profile. Ah, this is ridiculous. Yeah, trust me, I'll be writing some software to do this. It's crazy. The last time I did it, I clicked the edit post details, and then a button was there to actually go live. Now I cannot see it anywhere, which is ridiculous. We're right at the point of just going live. Oh, down the bottom. Wow. down the bottom left. So everything you have to do on Facebook to set it up is on the right. And then when you finish doing that, a button appears on the bottom left to click to go live. That's mad. Right then, so we'll back up again, apparently. That was crazy. Right, let's get back to what I was doing, which I can't even remember what it was now. Oh yeah, doing the VGA. So we've got blue on here. We'll do it this way around. But yeah, that is not a straightforward or clean or fun process to go live on all the platforms anymore. It's like such a mess. So we have these pins. I really should be screwing this into a bracket. Having this flapping around is not what we should be doing. Yeah, I really should. I'm still not going to, but I should. And there's the blue, green, and then I presume after all that effort, hopefully we end up with at least one viewer on Facebook. So let's see if that. Mind you, that count didn't work last time, did it? We were still streaming and it just disappeared midstream. Blue, green, red. I think my head gets in front of the camera half the time. VSync will do this orange. And the brown. Oh yeah, Lovable I've used for. Lovable was part of what. Well, it's good and it's bad. Trust me, it's quite bad at sometimes. It made some of the, what did it do? The clean screen, splash screen thing. I made some of the effects in that. But then it's really stupid. Once it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and it can't finish off projects or do a lot of stuff. And then you just have to export it and code it up yourself, or do whatever you want out, whatever your coding workflow is. But yeah, Lovable's probably quite okay. Instead, I'd probably recommend just use the Claude desktop app, but in the chat option, not the code option. That's actually pretty good at making some web HTML stuff. Ground, I'm going to pick, I probably should put a ground down here, but I've got one up here. I'll just make this one. Yeah, I've got like 7 or 8 screens up there spare for that exact reason, and the other ones should be done tomorrow anyway. The new batch, so these will be back in stock hopefully, because we've been out of these now for a few weeks. So now we're going to solder the wires into here. So we need to do, I'll pre-tin, probably do with that grip that I took down for soldering into these. You can probably just see me struggle from this angle instead now for the other part. That's where you need 3 hands, and I did have that gripper that I've definitely moved it onto. Yeah, I did have like a gripper above me that I've got rid of. Yeah, just do this. So red is over here. Red, green, blue. So I'll probably do blue first to go in the reverse order. Yeah. It's probably easier to cut the cable, but then I'd have to strip all the other cables and find out which colour goes to where. Red, green, blue. I think one person, the reason I realised this was even partially working is somebody messaged me, they soldered all these pins up to VGA and they were like, oh, it's working, but the screen's upside down and got some glitching. And I was like, well, I haven't even coded it yet. How is it working? I was like, I'm a bit more confused at how the hell you even connect it to VGA. And then when I looked at the code last night, I had written it. I'd like done all the VGA code except C-Sync. And I was like, oh, I've been telling everybody it's not even there. So even on the 4.0.12, this will actually, you will get VGA, but it'll be upside down because I didn't think I'd finished it when I had. And then obviously I've never looked at it to test it yet. So it was a bit buggy, but I fixed that last night, rewrote the LCD code to, what I've had to do is the screen is upside down, isn't it, obviously? So I was just writing out there's a point. I wonder if the on-screen menu's in the wrong place now. I was just writing out the video buffer to the screen in reverse. So yeah, development not far off. I go to bed most nights at the minute at 1 in the morning because I'm mainly doing that Rusty game now at night. So I'll knock off work and I'll go in the living room at like 6, 7 o'clock, and then I'll spend hours messing around with that Rusty game. But I enjoy it. It's like, to me, I'm not working. Like, that kind of work isn't work to me. I'm enjoying myself. But yeah, on this screen, we were writing everything backwards that coming from the Game Gear. It has to get written backwards to the screen to go upside down. And then because the VGA is basically the exact same, this is a 640 by 480 60 hertz screen. That's the exact same thing VGA is. So we just mimic the LCD screen straight to the VGA. So that's why if you soldered it in at the minute before this version update, you'd have seen VGA on upside down. So what I've had to do is write the buffer to this screen the right way around, but then tell this screen over SPI to mirror and flip so that VGA continues to work and the screen does. Right, so that's it. So we should be able to use an OSSC now. Turn this on, put that over, and we should see Giant. In fact, let's go for that. Should see Giant Sonic if this works. Well, Giant Rusty actually. I've got the Rusty cart in. Get you down here. Don't fall off and rip my Game Gear, please. Where's VGA? There we go. And this is AV3N. There we go. RGB H-Sync V-Sync. Dun dun dun. Right, let's go for a power up. I mean, there's nothing. I haven't even turned it on yet. There we go. Right, so we get VGA. Oh, where's it gone? Hey. Giant Pug Adventure. Right, we need to flip the board over now. See those little glitches though? There's little oh, I know what that glitch. Yeah, that glitches video noise. So see by the word system, that rolling noise. That's nothing to do with the. Yeah, it's not even on the screen. So it isn't a bug on. You know, I thought there was a bug on the screen. It's on the capture card. It's the video noise we're getting on the capture stream at the minute. The thing I always say when you see me capturing consoles and I go, ignore that noise, the rolling noise. It's not on the actual product. That's just the Mac having some video interference noise. So should be able to get that on there, and then HDMI's there. Like, that's pretty sick. Why'd you keep disappearing? I mean, in fairness, I've got the most janky setup going. I've got a soldered wire to a VGA soldered onto the pins over here with 4 other grounds missing. But we are working. Right, so that's the HDMI. That's the real thing. So, and this will be lag free as well. There'll be no lag on this because it's frame for frame written. So let's go on there. Go to there. So down. Start, and look at that. Oh yeah, look at that old noise. Let me see, I think that is actually on the screen, surely. Yeah, that is on the screen. So that might be my game, I don't know. So let's go to HDMI. Yeah, look at that noise on the screen, that rolling noise. I'll figure that out though. But important thing is we have Giant Rusty Pug. See, that could be this Game Gear. It could be the clean screen. Could even be the. I don't think that's going to be the VDP, but that noise has got nothing to do with the actual VGA. It's literally on the. Oh, that's interesting. The screen was fine. The VGA crashed then. I think that's just all this janky setup with like I say, the cables hanging out everywhere at the minute. But yeah, that's working and clean. Oh no, see, yeah, there's some noise on the far right. See that little bleed. To where the screen ends, it's got a little bit of bleed. So I think we need to probably buffer this output. So obviously it's not designed for just connecting straight up to VGA. The plan was we were going to make a little add-on board that replaces this connector here, and then it taps off these pins. So what we do on this connector is we'll buffer this output again. So even though it's all buffered here, so all these are the buffers. So the RGB signal comes into here, gets buffered, and then we use a resistor ladder to output these, but then the resistor ladder isn't buffered after we've generated the colors. So we need another buffer stage. But what we'll do on that is the cable that comes off here, like goes into the FBC and goes to here, we'll put the buffer on our little VGA board and do like a little, I don't know, a magnetic strip connector or something for VGA. So that's working as I expect it to in terms of testing that it outputs. Obviously, I can now make the actual VGA board that doesn't have that issue with the glitching, and I can figure out what the issue with is on this. It's probably just either this clean screen we can swap out, but that noise and the weird pixels are, like I say, nothing to do with what I want to bother testing at the minute. Yeah, the soldering to the VGA went to the OSSC, which then obviously outputs to HDMI. So I'll make a custom board that'll take VGA or RGBS and convert it to HDMI, and then we'll have a HDMI port there then instead. But that's how the Xbox original does it. That's what the Electron Shepherd does. Just takes the RGB that the Xbox can output and generates HDMI. So now we'll do the RGB. This is the one I don't know whether it's going to work. So this is just a Mega Drive 2 clean power. I'll just solder the pins to there. This is the test one I use all the time. And let's see if this works. So this is now going to tap off the C-Sync pin instead of the other one. Yeah, so RGB is literally now, this is exactly the same. We're just going to do RGB and then we're going to do C-Sync, which is literally H-Sync and V-Sync combined in a fancy way. So we've got the red here. No nice coloured wire this time. But now we've seen the VGA basically working. Obviously, like I say, we'll clean up all that noise and stuff after. But the point is we can see the signal and it's locked on and stuff. So I know now if this doesn't show, then it's something to do with the C-Sync, because that's the only difference between these two now. But hopefully this will work, and then we've got the outputs there. I don't think there's going to be much I can do about that noise if it is. Well, I think the noise has nothing to do with it, but that little bleed at the edge of the screen, I think we need to add the buffers onto the resistor ladder. I don't think we're getting around that any other way. So you'd need to wait for the proper little adapter board I'm making to give you that port. So that will, it won't take me long, that one install, but I'll fit it in. Right, so that's all them pins on. So that's now just wired up to this, and same idea. Let's see. HDMI over. Let's turn this thing off and on. Oh, I think it's actually, yeah. Oh, there we go. Right, so first one. Yep, and then let's turn over so we can press the buttons. There we go. Let's see. This is something I've been meaning to do for ages, the C-Sync stuff. That just goes straight to no signal. And it's got signal, it's fine. So this is a Elgato capture card issue because the OSSC says it's there. Let me toggle it on and off. Weird. Unless it's literally got a lock signal on the OSSC. Oh, 31 kilohertz. Yeah, 31. Oh, H-Sync is twice as fast, I think. Let me try on an actual CRT. See if we're seeing anything. RGB. Yeah, so I've messed up the C-Sync slightly. It's there, but obviously messed up. Let me show you. Let's get this thing going over. Yeah, so there's it's obviously on screen, but I've got it looks like I've doubled the H-Sync frequency. So we're getting the heatsink going down twice as fast. Something's not quite right, basically, about that. But that's just that's code. I just need to actually look at it when I'm coding, because that was just done blind. So RGB works, VGA works, but RGB I need to tweak. So I'll probably just pull that 413 build until I fix that. But at least we know generally the output's working. We've got the VGA, so you can still use VGA in. Well, you can use VGA in this build. I could leave it on; it doesn't really matter. But I'll probably just pull it down until I've perfected it. There's no point doing a release with just VGA and not RGB. Well, that'll be a fairly simple fix. I thought something was off because the frequency said 31 kilohertz on the heatsink, and it should be 15. So actually, it's running twice as fast. Not yeah, I think that's what I said. Anyway, once it's running like heatsink's running twice as fast. And if it isn't, then it'll be something else. But I'd say that's obviously what it's got to be, really. So let's move that out of the way now, and let's get on with this this Sega. Yeah, I'd say it's weird because the way I've done the C-Sync is 3 lines of code in assembly. So it's just basic NOR logic. So how it's doubling up, I'm not sure. But there will be almost likely going to be some issue somewhere with, you know, like more of a bug than anything. I don't think it's going to be hard to solve. I just, not bad for doing it blind though, without even knowing or seeing anything on screen. At least getting it to lock on with heatsink, so we know the heatsink is right because it said 60 hertz, so that's not far off. Yeah, there's a point. If it says heatsink, if it said VSync 60 hertz, then heatsink is just heatsink. I think that might just be noise on the line, you know, but I'll figure it out. Right then, goes back in there. It says you're giving a console a root canal over there. Oh, did I ever check? Oh yeah, Facebook's up and running now, isn't it? I just can't see the comments. So anybody on Facebook watching, we haven't got comments up for that. Did I try? Yeah, I tried YouTube Vertical as well, which I presume has never appeared, has it? Or did it? Oh, actually, there's a point, yeah. No, we did, didn't we? I think we sorted. Or did it? No, we said it went live and it didn't appear, I think. Let's have a look. Oh, no, we are. We're live on YouTube in both now. I can't remember what we did to fix that now. I think it was, oh yeah, we had to click go live, didn't we? That was what it was. So, yeah, so we're actually streaming everywhere now, where we would. It's just a pain to do, basically. Yeah, just clean emails off now. So where we were meant to have started the stream is this. So all it's come in for is a chip on here being socketed, which, to be honest, I'm going to have to find the emails out as well to even remember which chip it is. But I just figured we'd do it because we've never, like I've never used or seen one before, so it'd make, you know, nice content. So we've got on the back channel left and right, I suppose you can see on there. So that will be for 2 channels on the RF. So typically you used to have like channel, I don't know, 36 and 37 was it, or channel 1 and 2 sometimes. Because when you plug it into the old TVs with RF, this would be, you know, sometimes you'd have something on a channel or it didn't work. And then video, that looks like a, you'd presume, a master system 1 cable. So let's start with, I suppose, the SC-3000 AV pinout, because I haven't got it on my wiki. Let's have a look. And we should be able to get composite. It should be fully working. Uses a 5-pin down on the back, often sharing the same pinout with master system. Often. How is it often? It either does or doesn't. Service manual. There we go. We've got a service manual here. So this surely will have, oh, nice schematic. There we go. Audio, video terminal. So does it tell us? No, of course it doesn't tell us whether this is looking. This is the one thing I find annoying with everyone that does these diagrams and pinouts. Is this looking into the console or looking into the cable? We're going to presume it's looking into the console. So audio would be actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's not exactly the good representation. That's like a small arc, and this looks like it's right the way up. That doesn't even look like the right connector, but I presume it's just a bad drawing. So audio would be up here. Ground is 4 and 5, so ground on the outer 2, composite up the top. So let's take a look at the wiki as well. So on the wiki we have, I'm going to presume it's master system, AV pinout. There we go. So if we did an arc down there, we have 5 volts here, composite here, which is what we care about, which is 5 volt, sorry, ground here rather, on 2, which it is, and composite on pin 3, which it is. So master system cable is going to work. The other end is going to expect audio on this pin 1, which it is. So yeah, it's literally a master system cable, and it's not RF. So we just need a bog standard master system composite cable. Ooh, what's that? That's cool. I've never seen that before. It's called Joe. Is that just a random game you picked, or is that something to test?
Yeah, well, testing 2-player game.
That looks wicked for us. I'm going to presume we can also use master system controllers. Yep, so we got a port on the side. Surely Sega didn't change the entire controller port. But let's just Google it. Or rather, dictate it instead. Did the Sega SC-3000 use the same controller as the master system? How did you find that chip vacuum? Not opened anything. Oh, it was in a random tub up there called Tools and Spares. I've found another one since then as well. I buy a lot of stuff on AliExpress, and then if it's rubbish, I just put it away. Yeah, and that's the another random one. I did a stream on them when I was testing them all, and I kept the ones that were good, and that's another good one, but it's like massive. There was no difference in this huge one than that tiny one. So I figured I'd send you the nice petite one. But no, I just sent it you because I found it, thought it to be useful. I was looking for that tool yesterday, you know, when we were doing the stream, and I was looking for the Fat Angus PLCC chip puller thing that I've lost. I found that while I was looking for that, so I just sent it you. All right, so yeah, Sega uses master system controller. Cool. So the next question is then the power. What's the power input DC size and polarity for the SC-3000? And then don't trust what it says, but it's saying center negative, which means it's a Game Gear style port. So let me now cross-reference my own wiki on the master system and see if it holds true. If the Master System uses the same power orientation, then I'll be inclined to believe what it tells me. So, Master System, yeah, positive outer, inverted, 5.59 volt. So I'm going to believe that because that makes sense. So it's using the same controller, same AV port, same power, which makes perfect sense because it's literally, it was the thing before the Master System come out. So polarity on the casing, I doubt it. They never did they? No chance. We're not that lucky. No markings on the port, no markings on the sticker, but that's definitely the right polarity. So let's go into retro scaler. Turn that off, turn that on. And like I say, this should work because it's not going to fault. Apparently, it does fully work. Video, controller, game. I presume. Let's try it without a game first. Let's also get a power plug. It's not coming for recap. I can ask him if he wants one though, but I'm going to guess it's got like 2 caps on. That's a guess. It's just come in for the, I think it was the video IC socket. It must be a fairly common one to fail at some point. He wants it put on a socket so that then I guess he could swap it out in future. So yeah, this is a Game Gear power, but correct polarity. And I suppose with this being a rare console, not like it, I wouldn't check for other things, but just double check this is the right polarity. So positive outer we should get. Yeah, that's fine. And it'll just be a 5 volt LDO inside there anyway, so let's give this a go. Power. And I don't expect this to show anything because they don't normally. Oh, mind you, was it Master System 1 that did show something? There we go, so power lights on. And yeah, no built-in ROM then by the looks of it. Actually, I'm saying that, we're not even on the right channel yet. We're on the OSSC still. And we are on YPVPR for some reason. That's every pin. Try to get something actually show up on here first to make sure this is working. Right, that's still the OSSC. That's now the this will not stay on. Not even doing anything yet. Let's turn on again. Heard noise. I don't trust this. I can't get this retro scaler to behave. Turn off and on. Because we should be seeing, there we go. That was just playing up. Right, so now let's try it. We've got a line at the bottom. Let's give it a second. It might take a while to boot maybe. But my guess is it's going to have no built-in ROM, so nothing will happen unless we put a game in maybe, but I don't know. To be honest, the fact that it's got a classic kind of keyboard for typing, maybe it'd be expected to load something up. Nope, okay, so let's try the game in, and again, the games can go only one way because that way would fit and the other way wouldn't. So let's see. Do we now get game load? And this, like I say, should work. There we go. So no built-in ROM by the looks of it. That is, are we on the right mode? Let's try forcefully go into composite only. There we go. And pull up the full screen. Ta-da. Push one player start. Move my fizzog out the way maybe for people on horizontal. Them awesome 8-bit sounds. That's pretty good for the capabilities of the time. Right, and here we go, play one. I presume I can only jump, surely. There we go. Go! What do I do? What do I do? Roll. There we go. Oh, that middle one's harsh. OSSC, I've got an OSSC add-on. Let's try once more. Now I know what to do. Whee! Spin, spin again. Oh, you can't spin twice. You can only spin once. Oh, now number 2. That's sad. There we go. Well, that's working anyway. So, all we need to do is socket the video chip. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to have to double check because I'm going off memory. Yeah, all I can figure out to do is actually you jump clearly with that, and then you time your second jump, and then your third just jumps, and then like you only seem to be able to roll. So I think it's all about just the jump. Maybe like I've tried moving and stuff, and you don't seem to move, but we'll see. Surely there's more than just the one button. So 1, 2, 3, and then like press every button. You just don't seem to do anything but jump. Yeah, I think to be honest, the composite. Again, like I make everything all the time. I'm always tempted to make something myself because it'd still be nice to just have one integrated thing. But the OSSC does everything nice except composite. The composite add-on thing was not good. So I was tempted to just make a composite thing myself, but ideally, if the OSSC did it, I'd use that. But the retro scaler works pretty good. I've kind of grown to trust that now. What am I doing? Moving the wrong stuff out of the way. Move this out of the way. This back out of the way. And what we've got to do is find the email. Make sure I haven't got my screen on show when I do that. And let's double check that I'm doing the right thing. This is order number. There's all the order stuff. This one. Yeah, there we go. So 54771. 771. Check email. Composite, the best you'll get from composite is the Clean Comp Atari 2600. My original thought was composite could be. Oh, hang on. I'm looking for his email, and the note I'm reading literally says replace 40-pin socket on TMS 9918. So I don't know why I'm even looking for the email. Yeah, the composites. I always believed before I knew more about it, that it was just. At the time when composite was out, people didn't make good enough circuits to make composite perfect. So I went into making the Atari 2600 Clean Comp with the expectation I was going to make a HDMI level output. I genuinely thought that, well, if I can time the signals right, because I was reconstructing the whole composite, I've made the entire composite waveform on the Atari 2600 Clean Comp. That's why it's known as it's not just me saying it either. Like anybody you ask with the 2600 that's used it tells you that it's the cleanest composite you've ever seen out of an Atari. I thought, a little fold-up keyboard, that's cool. That's like a little mini service thing. I like that. Folds up and then hooks off. That's real cool. I thought that if I reconstructed the signal and I just made the edges sharp and I drove them powerful enough and I was accurate in my timing, that you just get sharp edges. That turns out not to be the case because I think you have to lift this halfway up and take these 3 screws out, then bad looks of it. What I found out once I'd perfected all the waveform and I'd got what looked like absolutely perfect waveforms that should be producing perfectly sharp edges, and I was still getting like the classic chroma bleed or what they call dot crawl as well. You've got like 2 symptoms. I was like, well, where's it coming from? Because my signal's perfect. I did find out that the retro tinks were absolutely shite at doing, to be honest, most stuff, but at doing the composite, especially bad. They add noise. But what I ultimately found out is that it's not the signal you're sending in for the composite to the TV. The TV then has to decode composite, and the way it decodes the color is quite crazy because it draws. What it does is draws the luma, which is the brightness, and the chroma, which is the color, in one line across the screen. Then the next line, it actually offsets by a slight amount just on the chroma. So the chroma shifts, but the luma stays where it is. And then the second line is drawn. So if you were to just draw composite on the screen, you'd end up with color shift every other line. And that's why when you see, when you see what we just saw, when it showed like a completely almost black and white image with random colors, that was because it couldn't decode the signal, and we were seeing incomplete composite decoding. But the problem with that is, I think this clips out at the back, it's not up to your code being clean, it's up to the receiver to decode composite clean, and it can't do it any more accurately than that because of the way it is. So you can't get them sharp edges because of how chroma gets decoded. It does a sample of the odd and even lines, cancels out the luma, and what's left is a chroma shift. And without getting into ridiculous detail, basically, you can provide a television with composite, and every television could decode it completely different and make it look terrible. And it's not your signal that's bad. Like, you can get bad signal, but even with the best signal in the world, every receiver can process composite different. So you can also get people that say, oh, the composite's terrible and it doesn't look like your image, but it's their receiver and there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, I learned, and it's where I learned all my confidence in the video circuitry stuff when I remade the composite. I can see clips there, I can't see how they're coming out. So clearly, there we go. Just a gentle lift up on that side, lifted that one up. So it's just a clip hanging out. So it is basically something in there, a little clip there. There we go. So I'll show you that after. There we go, this is a strange way, but that has basically got some little clips on the side there. So there's a little clip there and a little clip that side there. What's holding this in now then? I suppose we can now pull this keyboard out. I've just got these here, so they are just, yeah, they're horrible ones. I kind of don't want to do that, but we need to get this out. Or do we need to get it out? Yeah, we do. I don't want to take them out, you see, because these are the horrible Panasonic Q style bare wire pushed into a flat spring. I don't want to really have to get them out and put them back in. So there's a clip down here as well. You see that little clip holding the board in, and a clip down here. So we almost want to pull it forward towards us. What did we do the other day? The Amiga, where this reminds me of it. You've got, oh, that's a bouncy side camera. Can't get that quite into focus there, but these are holding it in from pulling up because they're in the plastic, and these are holding it from coming back. So this is very much like, I'm sure it was the Amiga. Yeah, the OSSC, it can't, again with composite, it can't be any cleaner than it is. For you really have to dig into the way it decodes to understand why you can't do it. It's all about the way that it decodes the chroma and luma by doing an off shift. Every other line, it shifts the line, and that shift is what causes the edge bleeds and stuff. So we need to slide across. which we can't do because of that. We need to slide up, and we can't because of that. Green circuit board. This is just a single layer board with jumper wire. So they did this for cheapness. So these are, you'll still see these about, but basically that's why you've got jumper wires. It was cheaper to make metal wire and do an overlay than it was to make a double-sided circuit board. So it wasn't the green as such that wasn't invented. It was that producing double-sided circuit boards was expensive. So there'll be the circuitry under here, and then loads of jumpers was actually cheaper than doing it the other way around. Have we got a screw under a sticker? No. I mean, somebody's maybe already been in there. Oh, and we've also got the power switch holding it in as well, because, yeah, that's why the power switch is soldered in like that. So we're going to have to desolder the power switch, which is already janky, because this is clipped into the board. So let's desolder that, which I'm not sure how let's just push it out the way while it melts, to be honest. Wow, this is a crazy way of getting this out. This is some dry solder as well. Desolder work. Okay, that's one. Oldest thing I've worked on, it's mainly going to be the TV devices, you know, where they were just an all-in-one, like, is it binatone and stuff like that. They were basically just, they had RF output and just a basic MCU. Sometimes it was raw logic as well, it wasn't even MCUs. They are like 60s, I think they are, late 60s. I don't think electronics-wise there's been much before that, because there wasn't really any consumer-grade stuff before that. I don't think so. I probably worked on the oldest stuff that it has. Is it still powered on? No, there's no plugs in. It's a good job, otherwise that would be a fun thing to be doing. Right, so that's power switch off. Can we now? Right, there we go. So now we've got a bit of movement. So this has got a little bit of movement there, which should be enough now to, we can now lift up because we've moved that corner out of the way. So that's out of the way. Now I can lift up there, and then up enough to slide out this way. There we go. And then up enough to slide out there, hopefully. There we go. That was a skill and a half to figure out. Imagine searching YouTube for that or asking AI tell you how to do that. So now, oh no, put it back in the clip. Out there. I wouldn't like to have been the person assembling this. This can now lift up over there, and we're out. There we go. That is confusing. That's going to be fun to put back together. Yeah, the Vectrex. I've got yeah, the doorbell. I've got my Vectrex down there. I think yours might have been, if it was the last one I worked on. I robbed my transformer at the back of the power switch, so mine's in pieces, because I used a transformer for one repair, and then I used the switch for another. So I've got a poor little Vectrex down there now in bits, and I've got like 15 games for it as well. And I've got to invent a new transformerless based powery supply thing before I can even use it. Right then, so I'm going to leave this keyboard in. Just be careful where I'm working because I don't like to pull these out. These are just, I've worked on with the Panasonic Q and I know exactly what these are and they're not nice. So they're just, again, money saving. This is just bare wire. So see these big fat wrinkles here? They are actual bare wire. So they'll be, you can't really tell there, but they're going to be bare wire there. So you can see them there. And they're just pushed into the flappy socket type springs. So they might pull out, but I just know they can end up being a nightmare to get in and out. So what we need to work on is down here. That's well out the way of being a problem for me, so long as I'm smart about where I work and pay attention. We obviously don't want to melt anything, that'd be not good, but if I flip over, there's your green circuit board. So as suspected, it would be green. It's just the silk screen, but it's the double-sided board, and you can see even after that, with them being an early board, I'm guessing this is still a stock factory bodge job, I'd say, after they'd made the PCB and realised there was a problem with bring up. So if we are removing the TMSS, we're luckily over here. So that's over there. We want to work over here, so I don't need to be worried about them. I'd normally take photos and things, but luckily we're on stream, so if we have troubles, I can revert back to the stream. We just need to get this out. Now, the important thing here is the right decision. This is going to be a very low heat board. We also don't want to damage the chip because we don't want to have to replace that. We do want to make sure we've got the orientation though, which is in the PCB silk screen, so that's fine. So what I'm going to do, I wouldn't like to normally tackle these kind of boards with hot air if I can help it. I'd prefer to spend a little bit of time in trying to desolder. So normally desolder wick doesn't work for me very well on clearing holes, but with this being a single layer low temp board, I'm going to guess we can desolder wick this off. So let's give that a go basically and make sure one last time we've got the right chip. Yep, now there is one wire which is here, so we're not going to touch that because we're using an iron, so it's all right to work through. So basically we should just be able to desolder wick. So let's just see, we might want to put some, we might not even need rather, like lead-free solder. Yeah, so see how easy that's de-wicked, because just sheer fact there's not much solder on, and these are low temp boards, these are coming off nice and easy. So I am going to get me extractor, because this is like 1970s fume stuff and I've got no idea what it is. So let's put a little bit of flux on to help the desolder wick. And this works. So again, it's just more about picking the right technique for the board you're on. Not one technique works for everything, and this technique of desolder wicking rarely works for me. So that's why you wouldn't normally see me doing this, but look how well it works for this board. So it's working good for me. And then at least this way you know that chip is not getting any excess heat whatsoever. And we can do a nice clean extraction hopefully. Ow, tweezers are boiling. I'm going to grab another piece of desolder wick and touch my tweezers. Oh yeah, that's a good point actually. The reason this will be coming off so easy as well is it's leaded, because obviously they didn't do lead-free solder back then. When was it first introduced, to be honest, lead-free solder into the commercial scene? Once there was enough crazy technicians, I'm guessing. When all the engineers were drinking coffee out of a boot shoelace. That's that. The lighting's terrible as well. I literally adjusted the overhead light to stop glare like this happening. And then all I now get is glare in a different spot depending on what board I'm working on. I know as well, luckily, because we, like all the retro stuff we repair, we're allowed to still use leaded solder in the repairs as well, but technically you're not meant to use it on stuff like PS5s, but it's one of them. Everybody does and everybody would, and I don't know whether the regs are more like lenient on the fact it's a repair, but yeah, we don't really work on the modern stuff anymore anyway. We're that busy with retro, so we have the pleasure of also being able to use leaded solder without worrying. Oh. One more side. Somebody go in the gym with a personal trainer, is that about, or is that something completely different? I've had a gym membership now, well, I've had a gym membership constantly for probably 2 years, but I renewed it in October. I think it was October or November, and I've never even been yet. I keep saying every day I'll go. Today I was going to go, but then busy again. I just need to decide I'm going to go on certain days regardless of anything and just go. I think the last time I went to renew my membership, they told me I'd already got a membership still running and that my pass had run out. And then now I haven't been since I renewed it in October, and I had an email the other day saying they've changed ownership and now there's going to be a different pass, so it's almost like my ritual to just go and change my ID, even though I'm not using the actual gym at the minute. Issue with the foot. Still getting personal training though, or was that something therapy, not PT as in, what else could PT stand for? Something therapy maybe? Physical therapy, maybe. This works amazing. So, I mean, it's proof that desolder wick would work, and it's purely a heat transfer issue when you come to use lead-free solder. That's why desolder wick never works for me on certain boards. It's obviously got to be, or it's just the quality of the iron, but we'll see. It's weird not breathing in all these fumes as well. Now I've got the fume extractor stuff set up. You'll still see me just going when I'm kind of desoldering some that used to just blowing things away. Oh, physiotherapy coasters. Yes, the most obvious thing that you should think of. Shows how guilty I've got a complex at the minute of not going to the gym. As soon as I saw PT, I was like, oh, they're on to me. They know I'm not going to the gym. Yeah, the air purifiers, we've got 2 in this room now. They kick in all the time. Well, they don't kick in so much when I'm doing stuff. They're not even kicking it now because mine, my extractor's working, but Zach's a bugger for not turning his on half the time, so I always hear them kicking in when Zach's doing stuff. Two left. And then we'll find out that these holes aren't actually clear. Oh, it looks like it. The chips disappeared on them legs. I think it's literally fell through. That'll be ideal. Ooh, knock stuff everywhere. So, turn that off. Let's clean this up while we're here. There's my sponges. Pulling everything off the desk. Stay there. Right then. Now remember to flip this over, and hopefully, look at that, just fell out. That's what we like to see. Now we just got to socket this thing. So there's no way we'll damage that chip, is the good thing. We know for a fact that's come out clean. And the board's all flawless. I think this is part of the reason why as well, especially when you've got the rarer systems. People like to just know they're sending it to somebody they can trust to do the job, because a fully working rare system for a simple task like this, you can still send it to somebody that hasn't worked on these boards, or hasn't worked on specifics, and could quite easily damage this board, break it, opening it up. It's kind of one of them where it's nice that we get all this kind of work where people trust and they know that we're going to do a good job, and even though it's a simple job, they know it's going to get done right. And then let's see if we have a socket for it. Should do. The only sockets I don't tend to have is the ones that end up being thin. I think it is like thin and long. Yeah, it's perfect. Da-da. Oh yeah, I think the most expensive thing I worked on was that Divers Edition Dreamcast, like a £30,000 machine, and the customer didn't really care. They were like, they'd already cracked the side of it triangling it themselves, and then it ended up with a retrofit Samsung plug and a clean power from a Dreamcast wedged inside and epoxied in, and they honestly didn't care. They just wanted it working, and I was like, that's crazy. But yeah, that was an expensive system to work on, but at the same time, the customer also didn't really, I don't think really care so much about the value of it. They just wanted one because it was cool. But they are, to be honest, they were cheap shit. The plastic was bad. It was just expensive because, well, expensive now as much as it was back then, just because of the rarity. It was just a pure rarity factor. Yes, that's the first blobs. Yeah, we sell out of stuff quite regular at the minute. We're quite good at keeping stuff in stock, but we've seen quite a rise, to be honest, in well, I say we've seen a rise. It's dropped again now for the last few weeks, but well, the last week. We've had a busier time since Christmas, full stop. And those clean screens were insane. That's the fastest selling thing I think we've ever had. It's like 700 clean screen V4s sold out within, like, the day we released them, I knew we needed to order. And the problem was, I don't like to normally remake another batch of boards when it hasn't been in the market long enough to get some feedback and check if there's any issues. But I think on day 3 of them being out, I was like, we're going to run out. If I don't order today, we're going to run out. So I ordered them the 3rd day of them being on sale. And before, like, we still haven't even got them now, before we've had the next batch in, we sold out like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the other thing is as well, we've had 0 faulty ones out the entire batch, with the exception of one person that blew the backlight driver on it. That's it. That's the only fault we've had, and that technically isn't a fault, that's user error. But yeah, I think it's going to calm down now. I think the influx has all been brought, but saying that, we've already pre-sold, I think, 180 of the next batch, and they haven't even landed yet. So, I mean, it's a good thing to have, but we've also had all these consoles in at the minute which are kicking our ass because we can't keep up. Right, and that's that socket on. So that's hopefully the only work we've got to do. So that wasn't too bad. Flip this over. And then now, this can go back in the new gold turn pin socket. So these are the nice high quality sockets, these gold turn pins. But you've got to get good brands, because these are also really bad sockets if, we should probably clean these pins actually, they've got a bit of flux on them. These can be really bad sockets if they're not high quality, and you'll just get creep. So over time, the chip will slowly just lift out of the socket on itself. So make sure you get high quality gold turn pins if you're going to use them. See, that's why we clean. Look at that. All I've done is sprayed some IPA in there, inserted in and out. And that's how much of the flux it's cleaning off the pins. There's a bridge on one of those pins, not sure if they connected together. One of the chips was bridged somewhere above it. What there was before I took it off, or what there is now. Well, come on, camera, where's the focus point? When you soldered the socket. You mean this thing here? That's the actual trace. That is a. That is the pin. Can't see anything else. But yeah, that's literally the trace going to that pin, basically. If that's the one you're on about, that one isn't bridged. Yeah, no, that's right. The reason I know that's got to be there is because, bear in mind, this is a single layer board. So if that pin wasn't going to somewhere, it goes nowhere. And then this trace had come up for no reason. But yeah, I mean, I can double check because it might actually be just like a no connect pin. But I'd say it is definitely meant to be connected. Let's just desolder the wicket just in case. Where is it? That one? Yeah, so you can see the trace there. Well, it's quite dark with the camera at that angle. That is the actual connection. Right, so I know it's always good spotting it because we don't want to have any issues on this. Now that fits in nicely, so push down. Perfect. So I'm not going to bother testing it because I know that's going to work. Surely we haven't done anything else. Let's get this thing assembled up and then we can test it. So in reverse order, it was hooking it back over these pins like origami. Goes down. Oh, actually it goes under this power socket that we have to desolder. Down into there. Then slide in. There we go. That actually goes in a bit easier. And now, overhead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they haven't really said why, but logic kind of tells us that this video chips are the most active on most circuits by the CPU. In fact, they're more active than the CPU most of the time because they're running constant data at full speed. So my guess is this will be a chip he knows could fail in the future. So he wants it socketed. Like he could have just paid for have this socketed as well, but I guess if this is a specific chip that you can't replace anyway, then it's pointless socketing that. And this, the other one, this one's already socketed, which is probably maybe a ROM, if there is a ROM. There's a Z80 down here, so the CPU's down here. That's got to be surely the ROM, maybe. And then, yeah, but either way, this is the chip you wanted working on, so that's what we've done. Right, so let's put the 3 screws in here. I'm going to put the screws back in the case here. And then there was one somewhere else, wasn't there? We had to flip this keyboard and twist to find the last one. Where is it? There, by that connector. And now we need to solder the power switch, otherwise it's not going to power back up. Hey, welcome back. We are now done with the socket swap, so hopefully this still works. There we go. And then we've got 3 screws left for the front, so that's it for that. And we just need to put this back on, so these are just going to clip back in. So you got little notches there that line up with little notches in the board there, those little notches. So it goes in like that, and then it's like a hinge. This thing clips down. Like so. And then this hooks into there and hinges down as well. And then we can put the screws back in there. This is where we find out to screw it all together and it doesn't work. How much these go for? I'm not sure if the one I looked at was a grey one when I went the last retro event that I nearly brought it from, and I was going to buy it, then went around the whole show, and then when I come back to buy it, somebody had already got it, and I think they were selling that one there for, to be honest, I think it was about 600, the grey one, which I'm guessing is going to be the other one maybe, because it didn't look like this, it was grey. 200 on eBay, that sounds like a good deal of sale. What was the grey one that I saw? I'm going to guess it's the actually I think it was something like the Mark something. So I'll have to have a look in a minute, see if I can find it. Right, we got that. Check everything still works. Hopefully everything still works. Or not. Go to the OSSC, check that's working. So that still works. Go back to that. Off. Oh. Power's not working. Power switch isn't working. Yeah, so of course my nice soldering job on the power switch isn't right or something. 2 pins. Because again, no power light. And the other thing, let's just sanity check this is actually outputting voltage. Yeah, so that's not a problem. Still connected. still connected. And that's still incorrect. Is it just maybe one of them, the classics, where the fuse has just happened to have blown, maybe? See if I can reach the fuse. It's going to have to make me take the top off so I can reach the fuse. Right, so. Let's check. Interesting. Take it in. Okay, voltage this is a strange one. Ground, I guess that's ground. 13 volts there. We've got let's see if I can find 5 volts. I'm thinking 5 volts is one of these. Well, these chips will have 5 volts on. Let's just probe around. 2.9. Any caps on here? Nothing. Nothing. Where's a main cap? Nothing. I'd have to get this thing out. So let's just pull up the data sheet for, well, Z80. Pin out for Z80 you'll get as a 5 volt rail. Pin out of a Z80 dip socket. I should know. Taking me to my own wiki, as it always does. So I've opened up, told it to search, and one of the top results is my own wiki. VCC is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 up from there. So let's see. And ground is floats in the middle. So we'll go there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we're getting no power. So something simple has gone on because we are getting the 13 volts in. 13 volts in, and then we need to get to the LDO underneath to see what's going on then. And unscrew time again. Yes, this was, oh, we got them desoldered the power switch again, haven't we, as well? Now slide out. Where's my tweezers there? IP plans from GBP and GBC. At the minute, no, they're not ours. The ones we sell will be the high speedo ones. So there's different versions, but in general, you won't see much difference. You know, the overall quality of them will be the same. there. There we go. Then back over. It's easier to get in than out. Right, let's test it this time while it's out. Save building it all up. And of course something go wrong. Yeah, right. What could have gone wrong though? We've got power in. It's like very little that could have gone wrong here. I reckon it could even just be these connectors I'm on about, these really pain in the butt connectors, but let's see if we leave it that way. Connect power. Oh, we can't connect power, let's just connect a bench because, well, we can. We're just going to have to bridge the power switch, aren't we? We're going to have to bridge there. I suppose it's just as easy. We're just going to bench power on this. It's easy to do that. And then we can see what it's pulling as well on the power, which is a bit better. We only need like 7 volts on this as well because it's just an LDO, so we don't even need to bother putting any more than 7 through, it'll be fine. I'm going to grip. Ground onto ground there, and grip this onto there. Now we don't want that flying around, so I'm going to solder some wire onto that. There's some thick wire. In fact, I'll just do it for both, so we haven't got a. I don't want dangling connectors falling off. I can't see anything that'd be an issue here though. Right, so we'll tap off ground, that's fine, ground actually. So we've got the power switch, which will pass power. Inside one. So that one. That. I think that's like cracked a bit maybe. I wonder if that's the cause, because like I said, there's not many things that could be. That one there, that power. I don't think so, but that just looked a bit sort of cracky there. No, that's solid. So this is the power input bypassing the switch, so we'll solder to that. And it can't be the power switch because we measured, well it could be, but it's unlikely. We measured the voltage coming in, so and then ground I needed to find, that's what I was doing. So ground is there, so is it? Yep, so that's ground. So we'll tap ground onto this part, and then we've got a nice local place to inject bench power. pre-tin these flying leads, and then we can inject bench, and we can also see then what's going on current-wise as well. But my guess is there's just going to be, well, I thought it was going to be the fuse. It could still be the fuse technically, just a weak fuse that measures continuity but can't pass your current through. That'd be the most obvious thing. Or it'll probably just start working now for no reason. That. And then we didn't need, I don't think we needed the power to get the power light, so we'll leave the game out for now. Let's get this and grip on here. And to be honest, what I normally do, I don't normally cut these the same length because then they can touch. I normally make one longer and shorter, like that, so then naturally they're not going to rest near each other. Let's do that. I'll do. And then, yeah, we're going to leave the game out. We want to see if we see the power light. Have that over there. There we go. So let's see if we see this power light come on when I apply power. Ready? Nothing, and absolutely no power draw. So there's definitely something simple going on here. We've got, I honestly think that fused myself. I know we're measuring power through it, but there's a complete disconnect somewhere for the power. So let's see. Oh, these leads are long enough. Let's get him over there. Ground I can grip onto there. Okay, and now we can probe around. Oh, I realise you can't see that. I've gripped the multimeter on there as well. I've got the power injected there right now. And we can now probe on here. I've got the 7 volts going into there. So now I've got a free hand. We can go onto the LDO. So nothing coming into the LDO. So that's obviously part of the problem. Right, where are we going then? So trace the circuit. Oh, we got the schematic, haven't we, as well? But let's have a quick look at the schematic, I guess. SC-3000 schematic. Because that datasheet thing we had up the service manual. There we go. Let's take a quick look here. We saw a schematic, so I could easily look around, but let's just take a look. So there's the input. So DC jack. L2. We're missing ground. We've got an inductor. So it could be L1 or L2. We should probably check them with the power off, because if these blow for whatever reason, they shouldn't be blowing, but if they blow for whatever reason, you would lose ground. You've got the fuse through the power switch through L1. So let's probe L1 on here. So you can see there's L1. So after the switch, which we've bypassed, so on here, I can pull up my software, but I haven't got it on me at the minute, and set it up. Hang on. There we go, yeah, 7 volts on that. It goes to here. Or have I got it going to the wrong side of the switch? So fuses before the switch. I think I've got the input power on the wrong pin to start with. That won't help. Right, because the other side goes to L1 after. And we're going, yeah, so I've presumed based on looking at the switch, this is the after the switch. This is actually before, so this is like the switch hasn't turned on at the minute. So let's move them out of the way and swap this over. So I've disconnected the wire, so it's not live at the minute. Let's move him over to here. There we go. And then if we flip that back over, like so, we're back there. We can reconnect power here. Oh, and there we go, we've got power light. So it's just the power switch is bad, even though, so maybe the soldering was a bit grimy, or maybe there's a weak power switch. But that's now, I presume that'll fully work if we just plug in. Plug in AV port, we haven't got a game in, but there's the sound you can hear. So if I plug in a game, that's the game, and then we will almost definitely hear the game load. And we'll probably see it on screen as well. We'll toggle to this maybe. Yeah, so it's literally a power switch issue. Have I got audio? I think we had audio on the demo, didn't we? Or was this the game playing? Can't hear. Let's that in. Let's do it. Yeah, so literally just the only thing it can be is a power switch, because all we've done there is bypassed the power switch, which I probably could have just tested, to be honest, by manually bridging it, but that's that. At least you've seen how to diagnose it anyway. Let's get some of these wires out of the way and turn that off. Safety back off. Alright then. Game out. Let's get these wires off. Tweezers. And it could have been this connector down here that I said looked a bit almost like, sometimes they look like they go through the board. In fact, it is that. If we look, well, I'd say it is. Just gone to reflow it and look at this. Look at this dry joint here when I've just warmed up. And bear in mind, this is a single-sided board, so what sometimes happens is these metal prongs that are poking through, they can crack, and you normally get like a circle around the ring there, whereas in this case, I think it was probably just dry solder on here. So when we've reflowed it with attaching that wire, we're probably going to fix that issue anyway. We can test the power switch anyway before we do anything. Now we know what we suspect it is. So if we just get this up, go to probes. These don't feel like the right probes. They are not the right ones. Where's my multimeter probes? Under here. Yeah, coffee delivery. Did you see that that coffee thing I sent you the link to? The oh, I need all of that mug. I can't remember what it's called. The kickback or something. It's well nice, like dead mild. It's just like it's hard to explain. Just a really mild coffee, but with enough taste. It's not like weak. It's just mild tasting. It's really nice. I'm sure it's called the kickback or something. That's dusty. That. Yeah, I've got multimeter probes, bench power probes, and second multimeter probes, or at the sides. We always end up with way too many probes to figure stuff out. Right, so this is continuity. Check the physical switch is okay. Yes, that's 0 ohm. So it had to have been the solder cracked on that bar, and what it would have been is when we've desoldered the power switch and had to move those little pins. So these little pins here, when we've like wiggled them to disconnect it from there, it's cracked the solder joint underneath, I'm guessing. So obviously just the age of the system, and then reflowing them pins should have now sorted it. So this is going to be good to me now, and let me get this back in nice and easy. I will be grateful. So I earned you quite a line. See, the first time I did this, nice and easy. There we go. It doesn't feel as... Last time I did this, it kind of sat in nicely. This feels like it's trying to... It just doesn't sound like it's going in as it did. Why not? This is definitely not sitting as it did before. Everything's in, but it's just... last time it just sat there, I didn't need to move it. I don't know why that wants to naturally move out. There's no reason it should be trying to naturally move. I've got no idea. No. I have literally no idea why it wasn't going as smooth as it did before. Oh, it's just the it was just those phonos not quite. They must have been catching on that plastic there. Yeah, that's how I was sitting without pushing. So what I was seeing was these screw holes weren't. Can't quite see on the vertical. These screw holes just weren't like naturally wanting to sit there. They were like springing back out, and I was having to kind of push the board in and hold it in place. Whereas the last time I did it, it went in clean, but it was just these two phonos there just slightly catching. Right, so now let's do we solder the switch in and test now, maybe? Like solder that in and test before. Actually, I'll put a few screws on the front. And then we'll test again before putting everything on, I think. So back on with these, and again we'll try not to wiggle the pins now that they're just on a single-sided circuit board that isn't very strong for holding them in place. There we go. So nothing's really moved. And now let's maybe test it like that, shall we? That's in. That's in. That's on. Power. And there. Yeah, so power light straight on. There's the cable wrapped around here. And I suppose we can pull up HDMI. And then that's probably just a bad start with it being live when we turned it on. Yeah, there we go. So I guess something to watch out for on these then if you're going to work on them is just with them being a single-sided board, that power switch, even though it looked perfectly fine under the scope as you saw, it must have been just a hairline fracture on the solder joint, the old solder joint. And we've got one more screw in here. Let's try again. And that's because I said let's screw it all together without testing. And that's about it really. That was all I wanted to show off anyway on this stream, so I'll just screw it together and wrap up and I'll be done. And I think we're all on everything, aren't we? It's like stayed up on Twitch, 2 YouTubes I presume are running, vertical and horizontal. Let me just check if they're still up. And Facebook's got to be up because it says there's 7 people on. Yeah, and 2 streams. So that's I can't remember what I did though, to be honest, to get the YouTube working. Oh, it was what I did first, and I was right. I just had to click a go live button. That was what it was, wasn't it? So, well, it wasn't. When I've gone live on the stream that I've got set as not subs, it's still limited it to subs and I had to edit it. So there's still glitches. But we'll see. Now I know how to kind of get it going. I'll see what the next one is like. Now I know what settings to click and where to go. We'll see if then it remembers because I set up stream keys, one for like subs only and one for the public, and I used the sub only stream, the public stream, and it limited it to subs still. So I've got a feeling the stream keys are maybe not specific to subs or not. You still have to edit the video, and it just remembers your last setting maybe. And then Facebook, it literally wouldn't work unless I logged in and actually opened the producer page. Didn't change anything, just had to open it and click go live. So yeah, there's a few things that I could do with automated, like I might even make an OBS plugin that, I don't know, imagine it's too much for linking in with ATEM then and the streams, I don't know. I'll see if I can figure something out. Right, that's all that. I tried the delay as well. We were, I might have already tested. I'm going to test it once more with it all built up. No, I was live on YouTube Vertical for ages. Well, technically wasn't because I didn't click the button, but that stream was up well before anything else, and they're all encoded separately, so they're not reliant on each other's stream either. And so I genuinely don't know. I think we've got it, and I think it's just maybe that's what people have to do that don't use Streamlabs. Maybe they just have to click all them buttons and they're just used to it. But I've gone from it being just a single click and go live, but then when it fails, everything disappears, to at least we've got stable streams now, but it's 10 times more of a mess to start a stream. It's kind of, I don't know which I prefer. I think OBS does the camera stuff a lot better though. There's definitely, Streamlabs was definitely downgrading the quality of the stream compared to OBS, that's for sure. And so I'm pretty sure this game, the only button you can use is that button. Like the left, right, up, down, don't do anything. Did I even roll on that one? Wasn't looking. That's just composite, yeah. That's literally, to be honest, it's probably the color palette as well. Oh yeah, so you can tap to, you can tap to spin. Left and right spins. One, two, three, and then right. So you tap that as fast as you can, and then you tap that to then finish your roll. Ooh, look at that, 5, 4, 5. See if we can get all 5s. This is where you got to do rapid tapping. Yeah, it's nothing like Adventure Rusty, that's for sure. Maybe I'll have to have a diving board in Rusty. Go on, give us a 5. 9? Oh, I thought it was up to 5. There we go. 9, 9, 8, 9, 9. Can you get 10? Let's have a go. Oh, yes, go on. Perfect score. There we go. I knew all that rapid tapping on Mortal Kombat would come in use one day. I presume 9's the biggest you can get. What's the game even called? Hypersports. What's the maximum score on SC-3000 Sega Hypersports game? Oh no, that's you have to keep going. The maximum score is 157,000. That's not what I meant. I meant the judges at the bottom of the dive. What's the maximum number they can give you? Surely a 9. Can't be 10. No, they can give you a 10. Jeez. Oh, there's another game. What? Did I just foul? Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, so the dive, you can get a 10 out of 10 on that dive then. Jeez. Yeah, that's it anyway. I will be on, what am I on next? I've got an Amiga 1200 to build up. I've probably got to do just a service, basically, but I probably won't make it on. It's basically a service and a ready-made Amiga. We've got the other Amiga that when he gets back to me, we can finish off. And then let me take a look. What might be coming next? Oh, we've got this Mega Drive. Got a Mega Drive one. I've got to do a clean RGB on again, so that'll actually be next. So I'll do that tomorrow morning, probably. Oh yeah, this is a guy that used to work for me, one of my old friends, made it for me, and then made a little note that's starting to fade. But yeah, it was well good. He did a painting of him as well in the kitchen. That's them two done. So this can go back now to the customer. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'll probably be doing that code for the Game Gear as well for a few days now. The VA45 stuff. So next substream will probably be. Oh no, I'm not here tomorrow. I'll stream on Saturday. Then we'll do the Mega Drive on Saturday, and then sub only will probably be Wednesday. Probably now I'd say we'll carry on with that. Game Boy re-PCB. So yeah, I'll see everybody Saturday.